Sup? This is a first for the channel. This is our first prototype. So this was sent over to us from Mark Perez at New Breed EDC. And it is a prototype. This is a new video for me, so you guys got to bear with me. But this is a prototype called the Wingspan. And it's currently, I think, headed to production, or the initial round of production is in. The knife can be pre-ordered. What you have to do, if you want to pre-order, and I'll cover it again, but I want to give you the email or the link. Well, I'll put the link below to New Breed EDC, where you can click in there and pre-order the knife. And I'll give you those numbers after we check this thing out. But anyways, yeah, so Mark, hey man, I appreciate you sending this over. And I know I'm bouncing like a pinball and awkward, and I don't know what I'm talking about, but we'll do our best, man. We'll get through it. Super grateful to have you send this over to me. Like I said, very first time I've had somebody send me a prototype. We get to take a look at it. Like somebody cares what I think. Yeah, so the Wingspan. Whew. Carbon fiber, milled titanium pocket clip. And it looks like it's got some carbon fiber inlays in there. Looks like the pocket clip is secured behind the scale. I like that. Makes for a nice secure fit. Shouldn't have any side to side rock. Let's get this blade out. Okay. So Mark is calling this a, what did you call it? A sheepsfoot Nesmuk blade. I believe that's what he called it. I've got my notes here, so I got to keep up because there's a lot of to come stuff that's not quite on this as well. Yeah, he's calling it sheep's muck, which is a sheepsfoot and a Nesmuk blade. Hollow ground. I believe this one's in D2. And this is going to be available to win. And I'll give you some of the details on that as we get through the video as well. But the production version is going to have S35VN steel. Front flipper. I do like the jimping up over the top. That fuller works. Yeah, good jimping. I dig it. It's got a choke up ability. It's got a nice grip back here. Kind of a sway back feel to it. Let's get rid of the distractions here. Focus on this knife. Try a Spidey flick. I did see a note, something about there's some changes going to come to the knife. And let me cover those real quick. There's going to be a chamfer added along the exposed edge of the lock side. You have to show us what that looks like. Knock down any sharpness. I'm guessing maybe there's some sharpness here. So they're talking about chamfering this back a little bit. I don't know. It feels really comfortable in hand. Like I say, it sort of feels like a sway back design, but this thing just tucks back in the hand. You know what I think I'm going to do? I'm just going to run through this knife, and then we'll cover whatever changes he had. He was nice enough to allow me to take it apart. So that's where we're going to go next. Yeah. Let's get a look in here, the guts. And of course, like I say, there's some changes going to come. So how pertinent is this? We'll see. But I don't think any of the changes are affected by what I'm taking apart here. I do like the pocket clip design. Look, it's milled in such a way, and then it's got a set pin so that that's not going to create any movement there at all. Very positive set for the pocket clip. I dig it. Very cool. I mean, going to great lengths to ensure that that's going to happen there. It's got some pretty interesting skeletonizing going on there. It almost looks like you could lay the pocket clip in it or something. Yeah, pretty neat. Steel insert. It's got hardened steel washers inset into the titanium for the cage bearings to run on. I've got a list of I do like this pivot on this side. I like it when they're not machined. There's no reason to machine this side, just lock it in there. It's got a deep pin in it that doesn't seem all that encouraged to come out of there. Makes me wonder if it's locked underneath the carbon fiber. I gotta look now because it doesn't seem like it wants to come out of there. I mean, that would be a first, I think, for me. That shouldn't have anything to do with anything. It. All right, hold on now. I mean, it definitely came out when the carbon fiber liner or insert came off, but there wasn't anything under that carbon fiber holding that down. It was just locked in there, I guess. Yeah, there's no reason why that shouldn't have popped right out of there. But captured pivot. Yep. And it's got a steel washer insert on both sides. We'll go ahead and wipe it down. Clean it up. Very cool. I do like the stone wash. I think looking at the website, there's going to be some satin options, the stonewash options. I'll cover that in a second, but probably the most important thing is if you're interested in the knife is go over to his website and check it out. That's probably where you'd get the best info, because as my experience goes with prototypes, sometimes changes come about and, production, whatever. All right, let's get these little pieces. Little cage ceramic bearings, I think. Let's check it. Yeah. All right. Easy, nothing complicated. Internal stop pin. I'm going to go ahead and plant one of these screws. T8 hardware across the board. Simple thing, but why not, right? Might as well get that other one in there. nice. Very nice. Yeah, pretty simple. Now that pocket clip would need to go on, and the tension is a little slack. So I'm taking some privilege here with the prototype, but I'm going to put a little tension on that pocket clip. Only because got to want it to stay in the pocket, right? The upside is that, well, hold on. Got to put the pocket clip on. Goober. There we go. The upside is that the design is completely adjustable. Yeah, all it would take is to put a little bend in that clip. If you picked one of these up, put a little bend in that clip. And you can increase the tension on it. So it's adjustable. I didn't tweak it a lot, maybe just a little bit, if at all. But we are going to test it, so I do want it to perform right. Yeah, better. Better. Check all of our hardware here. Yeah, solid. Drop shut, centered blade. Oh, very nice. Let's talk about that action. I know it's a prototype. It's kind of odd, like I say, it's the first prototype I've ever had, but I think the only thing I can do is kind of run through it like I would any other. And the Spidey flick is very nice. I did see a note on a change concerning that. He's talking about trying to increase the tension on the detent. Although I will say, to me, I think it's spot on, man. And for me to assess this action, I'm gonna come back to that. But then there was also a note, it's going to widen the finger deployment slot in the blade. It's 2.5 millimeters wide. It'll be widened to 3.65. So I believe that's what he's talking about here, is to make this bigger. And that's fine, but I mean, I get it. It works. Works very well. It's long, and I like that. And of course, the reason that I like that is because, my thumb may land here, yours may land here, depending, or up here, wherever you grip it. But from the thumb deployment, that thing works, man. Doesn't matter where I get it. Obviously, farther out, the more leverage I got, so it works really well there. But I can get up tight, and it snaps, runs really well. The Spidey flick, same thing. Being long like that, as long as this edge is sharp, it doesn't, I don't got to dig my whole finger in it. And man, that thing works really well. I dig it. And wherever my finger lands, I've gone out here, here. Now I'm going to get up tight. Yeah, look at it. I think it runs really well. The front flipper, very intuitive. With all that jimping and it being sharp, I mean, I find that to be, You know, at least 50% of a front flipper is just having good sharpness on the jimping. And this one, it's just straight up over the knife and it runs really well. Yeah. I mean, it literally thwacks it out there. Thwack. Very nice. I dig it. I wonder, I'll bet you there's guys that can, yeah, pull that over. I'm not one of them. Something with my fingers, I don't know, old man arthritis in my knuckles, I don't know, but I can't get it. But I'll bet you somebody can grab this and go whoop and just smack that right out there. Very cool. What else? There was one more thing. Center inlay screw is going to be removed. Yeah, makes sense. I'm not sure why that's there. You're held here, you're held here. Yep, it's just one less thing in there. That makes sense. That's a logical change to me. For sure. Um yeah, very cool. So action wise, I mean, I'm gonna say, I mean, access to the lock bar. This is lowered, scalloped on the liner. You know, it's basically a frame lock, but because there's carbon fibers over the top of it, it's like a liner lock, but it's a frame lock. I mean, we're locked up 40% roughly, and the tension on it is very reasonable, easy to unlock that, very hydraulic. I mean, I mean, it's a level action for sure. I mean, the talk about strengthening the detent, maybe it's because somebody flung it out. Yeah, that's why right there. I mean, that doesn't bother me. I have $300 knives that are considered to be top shelf knives that can do that. So that doesn't confront me. But I'm sure that's why. It's because you can fling it out there, and I can feel it. You know, one of the tests we do is we'll catch that, and it's a little light on the bottom. Yep. But here's the question: do you sacrifice? Do you stiffen this up and then sacrifice how absolutely wonderful this thing deploys up top? I mean, that's the question. Because it does. It runs really nice. Um, Ergonomics. So yeah, very comfortable in hand. The pocket clip, I sense it there, but for it being such a deep pocket clip, you run the risk of that being uncomfortable. But they did a great job of knocking this down, rounding all this off, and it's not uncomfortable at all. As deep carry as that is, yeah, that's not uncomfortable. I feel it there, but it's not hot. It's not even warm. Wonderful. It does have this choke up. If you're into choke up, you can definitely get in there and get more power there. Reverse grip, solid. Yeah, very nice here. And bonus points because I would much rather be here than here. And this is just as intuitive and comfortable, capping that with my thumb. This reverse Pacol grip right here is just as comfortable as this, maybe even more so. Yeah, maybe even more so. Like this is very natural with this knife. So that's a bonus point for me for sure. I mean, wonderful ergonomics. Let's check the pocket clip. I do fear that the pocket clip needs more tension. Thick stuff, it's going to run. Yeah, look how deep that runs. The knife disappears. It's a good look. I mean, I like the milling and the machining that's done there. The hole is going to be perfect to help get it out of the pocket. But even on the thick material, it's a little light on the tension. Yeah, on thin material, it definitely is going to need some tension on that pocket clip because it'll pop right out of that pocket. Now, could I bend that up and make that work a little better? Yeah, probably could. But it would be one note I would send back for sure to Mark, is that pocket clip needs tension. In my opinion, you know, I mean, when I put it in my pocket, I want it to stay there. And if I gotta, you know, I put it in my back pocket and I gotta take off on a run or roll down a hill in a fight with a grizzly bear, when I reach back to get this so that I can go here and try to get him off me, this knife's going to be where I left it. Yep. But that's me. Listening to comments, I may be lone in my thinking there. Let's check it for safety. Yeah, there's no blade contact through the scales, and the tip is well recessed down just under that hump. So there's no catching that tip. So, I mean, the clip is okay. It runs really well. It just needs tension. For sure, that needs to be bent in a way that has tension. If it had tension, it would be great. The tip is good, and I'm confident that I can handle this knife any way I want, and I'm not going to catch the sharp parts. I do like the milling in the titanium. Provides a little bit of grip here. I like it. I don't know how much sense it makes to check the sharpness because this is a D2 version of that blade, and it's going to end up with the S35VN version. So, it's kind of silly to be checking the sharpness. Let's go over some of the specifics on this now. So it is available for pre-order for a short amount of time. I'm going to get this video dropped as quick as I can because if you're watching, I want you to be available to pre-order. And I believe the pre-order price is going to be $145 is what I saw on the website. And I'll link it below, but it's newbreededc.com. So all one word, NEWBREEDEDC.com. There's a silver twill carbon fiber version, a couple other different versions that I saw. Let's see if there's any other notes to it. It says there's going to be two versions of the blade. A belt satin, black titanium frame, silver twill carbon fiber, satin hardware, and a black clip, and then an acid stonewash blade. I believe that probably is going to look like this one, that acid stonewash, which I dig. I'm a big fan. Blue titanium frame, and then weave carbon fiber, black hardware, and blue clip. So I believe this is the second version. The first version is going to be with the silver twill carbon fiber, a satin belt finish, and then black titanium frame. Very cool. And I did see a version of that on the website. So if you're interested in that, go take a look. And it looks like some of these, if you pre-order, it looks like some of these are going to be available within the next 30 to 60 days, possibly. Like it shows possibly arriving in April. Yeah, very cool. Well, Mark, I appreciate you sending this over. The Wingspan from New Breed EDC. Yeah, very cool. Wingspan. Appreciate y'all watching. If you're interested, hit that link below and chop on over there and check them out.